Webster said this about fallen servicemen, quote, "Although no sculpture, marble, should rise to their memory, nor engraved stone bear record of their deeds, yet will their remembrance be as lasting as the land that they honored." We are here to give long overdue honor and respect to Vincent Jerome Rogers, Jr., a man who gave the greatest sacrifice a person could give for his country. That sacrifice was made long ago, but he has certainly not been forgotten. And I hope the words that I offer now might give purpose, comfort, understanding that we have not been forgotten by God who gave us life. Far too many think that we come to this earth, we have experience, and then die. But there is so much more to our mortality. In Ecclesiastes we read, "To everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die." There is purpose to the time we are here on earth. Our birth was not the beginning of our existence, and death is not the end of our existence. Before we came into mortality, we lived with our Father in heaven as His spirit children. He presented to us a plan where we could be tested to see if we would keep His commandments. He called this the plan of salvation. He knew we would not be perfect. He knew that we would fall short. He knew that we would have many failures. And because of our weaknesses, He provided a Savior. One single perfect person who would live a perfect life and would never sin. It would be one person that would deserve no punishment, yet He willing to suffer for our punishment. Jesus Christ is that Savior. He volunteered to take upon Him the sins of the world. He offered Himself as the ultimate, infinite sacrifice of all time.
Vincent lived at a time, Vincent Jr. that is, lived at a time when we were going to war with Japan, Germany, and Italy. It was called the Axis, and it was a very patriotic time, and the nation acted as one. It was just amazing. I have read the history of that, and I think of the conditions under which we lived at that time, and you have to put yourself back into that time to understand His motivations. Everyone that I knew as a child, and that war extended from the time I was about 6 years old until I was 12 years old. And I wanted to explain that motivations for people going to war were very strong. We all felt as though we should do something for our nation.
Several years ago, Tom called me on the telephone, and he says, "Wayne," he says, "I'm in my garage," and he says, "I just found all these letters from our cousin Buddy." Since Buddy was the only child, he left them with Tom's father, Herbert. And he also, Tom mentioned to him, he says, "And," he says, "did you know our grandfather was a genealogist?" By this time, I had already started doing some genealogy myself. I think I had proven over 20 patriots in the Revolutionary War. I said, "Oh my goodness, really?" So Tom sent me a copy of the genealogy of my grandfather, and sent me all these 230 letters. I was up at the March Air Museum one day doing some reenacting. I'm in the Sons of the American Revolution. And I said, "You know, I got these 230 letters. Nobody will ever read these letters." So I decided to donate them to the museum. And I wouldn't have done that except I had this interest in genealogy. And I wanted to pass this along to other people. I think as a subject in family history, it's very important for us to recognize what this does to us. It brings together our families, it brings together what happens in the country. We are one country, but we're also a country of families. this country wouldn't exist if it wasn't for families throughout the United States that helped to make this a free country. When I donated the letters, the curator looked at them and she says, "Oh my goodness, this is just like living history." She, this boy is writing everything. He had a really strong relationship with his mother and with his father. His father, by the way, Vincent Roger Sr., was in World War I, and he had joined the American Ambulance Service. He had been in a rowing team in Syracuse, and he was one of those adventurers, just like Hemingway, who was in that, and actually Walt Disney also was a member of the American Ambulance thing. He stayed there after the war at the Sorbonne, and then he came home, and they had Buddy.
But sometimes things are meant to be, and this is all meant to be. And no matter what you say, and we have things going on in the nation right now, look, we're all together again. Isn't that nice? You know, when you really think about it. So World War II brought us back together. Thank you very much.
It is my complete honor to be here today to have this memory with you. The Rogers family. I'll try to speak a little louder, Ron, so you can hear me. I want to let you know that the City Council recognizes Vincent Jerome Rogers Jr. And we will recognize him tonight at our Menifee City Council meeting. We will close our meeting in his honor. And we have also jumped through a few little hoops. We're a pretty patriotic city. And I don't know if you realize it and how many military banners that lined our streets. We're a pretty special city that we recognize military veterans, past and present. We have designated in the area of Sun City for our World War II, Korean War vets, and Vietnam vets. We have a banner for Vincent Jerome that will be delivered tomorrow, Friday. And we ask you to come out as that banner is lifted upon one of our light poles in our city to honor him. And so I have a certificate for you and for your family today, signed by the Menifee City Council, that we will be closing our meeting in his honor tonight. And we're just so grateful. I'm grateful that he came home.
Just on behalf of the Rogers family, okay, and Tom and I thank you very, very much.
States Army and a grateful nation. Please accept this flag as a symbol of appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Vince was lost in 1944. He was buried by his compatriots next to the runway where the 38th Bomb Squadron was stationed in the 38th Bomb Group on Tarawa Atoll. In all of that time, his family immediately after the war, of course, wanted his body to be repatriated, to be brought back, because of a few factors that happened that we don't have to go into great deal of detail. They were unable to locate Vince. Both Vince, 5 other members of his crew, and 10 individuals from another aircraft that crashed that day were gone. They were not able to find them. After a number of years of searching, they notified the family saying that it wasn't going to happen, that we weren't going to be able to locate Vince and bring him home. I first met Vince, and this is an odd way to put it, but I first met Vince in 2010. When I started here at the museum, and the museum collections manager at the time pushed a box of letters across at me and said, "This is our boy Vince. You gotta read these. He's more important than anything else I've ever seen in a museum." So I pulled up the box and I started reading. And what I found in the box was 230 letters and some assorted documents. And in that caught the personality of a 19-year-old man, not a veteran, not someone who wanted to be a general in the Air Force, who wanted to win the war entirely by himself, but a young man who wanted to do his part and come back to the United States, marry his fiancée, and go on with his life.
That's right.
Vince, as I read these letters, I realized Vince was me. Vince was you. He was your brother, he was your father, he was your uncle, he was your son. He was the everyman of the Second World War. And in his letters, we can capture the sense of what it meant to be an airman in World War II. He's funny, very witty in the way that he writes. He draws some pretty fantastic cartoons, most of which are too obscene for me to be able to put on display. Try to remember Vince was 19. But he told his mother things that I would never tell my mother now. He was so honest and so straightforward, I knew that the way to create this exhibit was to let Vince speak for himself.